कुंज बिहारी कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. Are you able to hear?
Prabhu will hear after the, I think, Kartal, because of Kartal that is blocking.
Our mic is, charging is over.
No, we can hear after chanting, we can hear.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhu.
स्वामी जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्णा। निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश काल में जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 6, Text 4. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You have access?
Yeah, they will give the chat.
Prak Kalpa Vishayam Etam Smritim Te Muni Sattama Na Hi Eshaha Vyavadhat Kalaha Eshaha Sarva Nirakritihi Prakalpa Vishayameta Prakalpa Vishayameta Smritinte Munisattama Smritinte Munisattama Nahyesha Vyavadhat Kala Nahyesha Vyavadhat Kala Yesha Sarva Nirakritihi Yesha Sarva Nirakritihi Prakalpa Vishayameta Smritinte Munisattama Nahyesha Vyavadhat Kala Yesha Sarva Nirakritihi Prakalpa Vishayameta Smritinte Munisattama Nahyesha Vyavadhat Kala Yesha Sarva Nirakritihi
Prakalpa Vishayameta
Prakalpa Vishayameta Smritinte Munisattama Nahyesha Vyavadhat Kala Yesha Sarva Nirakritihi
Prakalpa Vishayameta
Prakalpa Vishayameta Smritinte Munisattama Nahyesha Vyavadhat Kala Yesha Sarva Nirakritihi
Prakalpa Vishayameta
Prakalpa Vishayameta Smritinte Munisattama Nahyesha Vyavadhat Kala Yesha Sarva Nirakritihi Somebody online wants to chat, please do so. Okay, all right. Word-to-word translations. Prak, prior. Kalpa, duration of Brahma's day. Vishayam, subject matter. Edam, all these. Smritim, remembrance. Te, your. Munisattama, oh great sage. Na, not. He, certainly. Yeshaha, all these. Yavadhat, made any difference. Kalaha, course of time. Yeshaha, all these. Sarva,
Sarva,
all, Nirakritihi,
Nirakriti,
annihilation.
annihilation.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O great sage, time annihilates everything in due course. So how is it that this subject matter, which happened prior to this day of Brahma, is still fresh in your memory, undisturbed by time? Purport. As spirit is not annihilated even after the annihilation of the material body, so also spiritual consciousness is not annihilated. Sri Narada developed this spiritual consciousness even when he had his material body in the previous kalpa. Consciousness of the material body means spiritual consciousness expressed through the medium of a material body. This consciousness is inferior, destructible, and perverted. But consciousness of the supramind in the spiritual plane is as good as the spirit soul and is never annihilated. Om Jnana Dvivamrasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamuktam Dadati Sukadamuktam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapalakam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sadhujanam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Suchivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagate Gopesha Gopita Kanta Radha Kanta Namoste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haritye Vancha Kalpataru Vyascha Kripasindu Devacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prakalpa Vishayamedam Smritim Te Muni Sattama, Nahyesha Devadhat Kala, Esha Sarva Nirakriti. O great sage, time annihilates everything in due course. So how is it that this subject matter, which happened prior to this day of Brahma, is still fresh in the memory, undisturbed by time? So before I begin, I'd like to seek the blessing, which see where it is and others assembled over here. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I was trying to avoid it, but couldn't refuse after a couple of requests. So thank you, and I pray that this is something pleasing to share about that challenge. So here, this verse, Srimad Bhagavatam is the last question by Vyasadeva in regards to Narada Muni's previous life, his past history. And Vyasadeva is asking this question to his guru, Narada, because Narada is relating what happened to him in a previous life. And not only did that happen in a previous life, as Vyasadeva is stating here, so I mean, remembering a past life in itself is quite extraordinary. But it happened in a previous year of Brahma. So when it happened in the previous year of Brahma, that means practically everything was annihilated. And then, there was another kind of what they call as a secondary creation. So the secondary creation happened every day of Brahma, as we learn in the it's from Bhagavad Gita, other texts. So for Narada Muni to remember that is quite amazing. And Vyasa says, how is this? How do you remember? And then Vyasa makes this point. He says, how do you remember when time annihilates everything in due course? So, I mean, myself and Charan, we were speaking last night about time. This is a very perplexing subject matter. Right? Time is not something that materialists can understand. In fact, it's very, very difficult to understand what is this time. Okay, what is time? Well, what is the time? It is 7:47 a.m. What is that time? What is time? What is this thing that it ticks? You see that seconds going around and the clock is ticking. But this energy of time is a very strange phenomenon. You can't really put your hand to it. You can't experiment with it. And it acts in very strange ways. For instance, when you're bored, time seems to go on forever. It seems like it lasts forever. You've ever waited in line for something. It seems like you're just waiting. And people, you just seem like you're waiting all the time. And then when darshan comes, it seems like you didn't even get it. It seems like, it is actually a split second. That's all. You push away. That's it. It's like done. So, but at the same time, for an Olympic, gold medalist, that 30 seconds defines his very life. It defines his or her very life. That's it. 30 seconds. And this thing called as time, it's very difficult for people to understand. It's perplexing. And here Vyasadeva makes this important point in relation to time. He says time annihilates everything in due course. But is time only annihilated? No. In due course of time, things are created also, right? Somebody, for instance, it is said, sometimes, women, after they get married, they're very anxious to have children. That will happen in due course. Just be patient, children will come. It happens in due course of time. When time is right, it will happen. So, things are created also in due course of time. But why is this emphasis on annihilation? Why is this emphasis on annihilation of time when things are also created in due course of time? The reason is, although things are created, the nature of time is that by nature things get destroyed. See, to create something, right, you need to put some effort. When you create something, you need to have some effort. Some effort is done, like like this temple room has been renovated. It takes effort, it takes time. But what happens? Nature of material, you don't do anything, it will deteriorate by itself. You don't have to do anything. It will deteriorate by itself. To keep this body, well maintained, energetic, you have to put so much effort. Don't do anything, automatically it will become, degraded. The nature of time is that it degrades things. And therefore, time has this nature which is annihilation. And therefore, actually, when if you go to Bhagavad Gita, so Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, in the universal form, Krishna says in text 32, he says, Kalos loka krit prabuddho, lokan samahathum iha prabuddha, videti tvam bhavishyanti sarve, ye vastita pratyanikeshu yodaha. So Krishna says, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, time I am, the great destroyer of the world. Kalos loka krit prabuddho. So he said that he is the destroyer of the universe. And what does he tell Arjuna? He tells, I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. See, this time, for instance, in the 8th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, right, you will see that, let me pull it up. So, in the 8th canto, there is a pastime. What pastime? The pastime of the churning of the milk ocean. So, in that, if you see 8.6.19, so demigods have taken over the heavenly planets, right? And demons have taken over the heavenly planets. Demigods have been kicked out. So now this is a constant struggle. There is always constant war between the demons and the demigods. You see that it is nothing that it's all mythology. It's happening in this world. It's happening in this world. People are always have a war between different people. Just because we don't see it happen doesn't mean it doesn't happen in other parts of the universe. And the way it happens is different. The way politicians fight in America is different to the way politicians fight in India. It's not a big surprise. They fight here also. But here they may do it in a little more, whatever you can call nasu, in a little refined way. India things may be, and in a place like Uganda, politicians in the parliament, they had a fight and they started swinging chairs at each other. But that doesn't happen in India. So, okay, but we're more civilized. No, it's just the same fighting, the same, cat and dog mentality. But the way in which they fight is different, that's all. So the demigods and demons, they fight amongst each other. And the demons, the demigods being devotees of Vishnu, they go up to Vishnu and approach him. So when they approach Vishnu, Brahma has done these extensive prayers in the previous chapter and in this chapter. So text chapter 6, the author is extensive in chapter 7, also there is some prayers. And then Supreme Personality God appears. What does he say? Here is Supreme Personality God himself, right? He is controller of everything. He can change anything. Flick of a finger. Doesn't even have to flick his finger. All he has to do is desire and everything will happen. What does Supreme Personality God say? He says, this is chapter 6. Yeah. So, 19. So, Supreme Personality God says that as long as you are not flourishing, you should make a truce with the demons and asuras who are now favored by time. When I had initially read this, it went off in my head. What do you mean favored by time? You are Supreme Personality God, you are God himself. What do you mean favored by time? You seem to speak as if time is something else. Your Supreme Personality have got it. It's like. So, who are now being demons and asuras who are being favored by time. And what is Supreme Personality God say? You don't need to truce. So, how do you understand this? Krishna, Supreme Personality God, is devotees are approaching him for something. And in one sense, it's a right thing. Right? The demigods have to rule the heavenly planets. That's what they were born for. They appeared to rule the heavenly planet. If they don't rule the heavenly planets, they don't have anything else to do. So, then what do they do? They are approaching Krishna, they are approaching God to execute the service that was given to them. But Krishna is telling them, oh, demons and asuras are favored by time, now you make truce. So, this is time. Actually, this time factor, so why is that the case? So in the previous verse, it is said that basically Shukadeva Goswami says that although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of the demigods, was capable of performing the activities of the demigods by himself, he wanted to enjoy pastimes in churning the ocean. Therefore, he spoke as follows. See, Supreme Personality of Godhead, okay, demigods are suffering. Demons are also suffering. They're suffering in a different way. They think they're not suffering. They're suffering by enjoying material, happiness, which is temporary. Anything temporary will come to an end, which means suffering. So demigods are suffering. Demons are also suffering. Supreme Personality, in the middle of all the Supreme Personality God has another plan. He's saying, okay, anyway, this fellow is suffering, that fellow is also suffering. Both want to enjoy material happiness. In the meantime, let me enjoy the churning of the milk ocean by engaging all of these people in my service. So Supreme Personality of Godhead is always thinking of the benefit of the living entities. This is the point. The point is Krishna is always thinking of how to benefit the living entities. And how are the living entities ultimately benefited? The living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. They are part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, Manashastani Indriya Adi Prakritistani Darshati. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that these living entities, they are not my fragmental parts and parcels. They are parts of Krishna. But as fragmental parcels, what are we doing? In this world, Manashastani Indriya, with the mind and senses, they are struggling. And what are they? And they struggle with material nature. With the mind and senses, they struggle with material nature. Prakriti Stani Darshati, they try to control material nature. So, this is the nature of all conditioned living entities, whether that be demigods or demons. They are all conditioned living entities. And they're struggling. Now, Krishna is thinking, they're struggling, but the ultimate benefit of any living entity is to ultimately come to the service of Krishna. Because we are part and parcel of it. We did not originate from the demigods. We did not originate from Brahma. We did not originate from Shiva. We did not originate from Durga, Ganesha, and all these other demigods. Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Surya. No, we originated from Krishna. And therefore we are meant to serve Him. We are meant to go back home, back to God. And this whole material world, Prabhupada explained multiple times in the Bhagavad, is simply an arrangement to go back home, back to God. It's to reform the conditioned mentality of the living entities to take them back home, back to God. And for this purpose, time is involved. What is time? Time is nothing but the will of the Supreme Personality of God. Kalos, He is time. Kalos, Krishna is time. But here, He speaks as if time is something separate. So this is where it gets a little confusing. But that's because it's expansion, Krishna. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead as time, He ultimately brings about the surrender of the living entity. But that can take a very, very, very long time. You see, and in the meantime, what happens? The material world is destroyed. So the material world is created for the purpose of the living entities to enjoy a phantasmagoria, to enjoy an imagined situation where they think they can be the controllers of this world, where they think they can be Krishna. So Krishna gives them, oh, you want to be like me, try to be God. Try to be God in your hand, and is trying to be God in his own sphere. We are trying to be God in our house. President is trying to be the God of the country. And then the different, like right now, you can see, clash of world powers. Who's controlling? There is a challenge to the status quo of the world situation. It's nothing new. Alexander the Great tried to do that. Napoleon Bonaparte tried to do that. Hitler tried to do that. Was it Genghis Khan? They say something like 1 in 10 people in the world are descendants of Genghis Khan. Something like this. Some crazy figure. Because he had so much sex. He had so many what do you call them? Concubines, not exactly wives, just maid servants. You have so many children, so much, 1 in 10, the population of the world, is some way, somehow connected with the DNA of Genghis Khan. So, he really thought, certain not in the world, and Napoleon famously said, Prabhupada said this. Napoleon famously said, Napoleon is France, France is Napoleon. So, and but then Prabhupada asked, France is here. Where is Napoleon? France is Napoleon, France is here. Where is Napoleon? So this is Kalos, we destroy because for some time the living entities they get to enjoy. They get some time. Krishna is only here's a little time. So try to be God. Let's see if we get there. But then after some time Krishna winds it down because it's not the natural position of the living entity. It's artificial. And therefore, Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his feature as time, ultimately causes destruction. And therefore, for instance, ultimately in this material world, time is what rules everything. Something will happen when time is right. Desire of the living entity will be there. When time is right, the desire of the living entity is fulfilled. When time is not right, desire of the living entity will not get fulfilled. And when desire is not there, but time is right, still the thing will happen. You don't have to do anything for it. It's many times you see that you may want to do something, but you just trying and it just is not working. And the reasons are right, the motivation is right, the purpose is right, the intention is right. Even like for instance, one may have physical strength, financial strength, etc. It won't happen. It just won't happen. But then sometimes you won't have anything, and suddenly something will happen. You never expect it. It just happens. I remember, when I was in school, there was one examination, and this girl in my class was a topper, because we were a topper. So, she was a topper. And she came out of the class, she came out of one exam, bursting in tears and crying like anything. She said, I sat in the examination, I prepared for 1 whole month for this exam. I sat completely blank, I couldn't remember anything. Of course, she did fail. She was on the top, and she failed. And some loafer passed. In the class, he passed. So it is big himself. But how does that happen? It's called time. It's called time. Ultimately, it's karma. That karma situated within the heart has two functions. Upadrashta Anumanta. He sanctions and he is the witness. So in his feature as the sanctioner, he looks at the karma of the living entity and then he sanctions. So the point is, in this material body, we are capable of so much happiness and so much distress. It's already pre-planned. It's all done. Now we may think, for instance, if you are meant to read, I'm just giving an example, right? In this life, your karma, you don't know that, of course. Your karma is that you're meant to eat only so much. And say at the young age, you really ate a lot. You get some disease where you can't eat anything in the rest of your life. Because what is allocated is what is going to happen. This is time. This is the feature of time. It's very powerful. And nobody insurmountable time. So here Vyasa was asking, how is it? Time annihilates everything. But it doesn't seem like you are affected by it. It doesn't seem like it happened in the previous day of Brahma. Therefore, Prabhupada makes this amazing point. He says, see, because for a devotee, this time which is actually very fearful. Time is fear personified. Everybody is afraid of time. Everybody is afraid. Nobody, why people get life insurance? Why you get life insurance? Because you are afraid. What will happen? Now everything is good. Something happens tomorrow, then what? So you have to get life insurance, this insurance, that insurance. Some people get in the United States, you have to perform. And I learned after coming there, the funeral ride is quite expensive in this country. Just to perform, so people they plan for that also. Some kind of insurance that, something like this. You plan for that. If you don't know when you're going to pass away, suddenly you pass away, then your relatives and children or whoever, they have to take care of your expenses. So, might as well give that expense also. So this is how much people are afraid of insurance. And this insurance companies really play on this. They really play on this fear. Because everybody is scared of time. Everybody is afraid of time. And what people think, well, if I have a lot of money, then I'll be able to overcome the effect of time. No, you can have as much money as you want. When something is supposed to fail in the body, it will fail. You can have millions and trillions of dollars. No doctor will be able to do anything. We might have had this experience in our own life. Sometimes there's some disease, you just can't figure out what is the problem. You just can't figure out. Suddenly, at some point of time, somebody, maybe neighbor told you something, you ate something and it got cured immediately. We've had this, maybe we didn't have it, we had heard of this kind of experience. Because this is time. Now, for the devotee, because devotee is under the shelter of Krishna, because he is taking shelter of Krishna. Now, specifically in this case of Narvana, Prabhupada is speaking of spiritual consciousness. Because ultimately, the living entity is about time. What does it mean when he's about time? It means he's about the destructive influence of time. This destructive influence of time, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 8, text 70, Bhuta Gramas Evayam, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate, Ratyadame Vashapata, Prabhavatya Haravam. It says that Bhuta Gramas Evayam, so these living entities at every day of Brahma, they are created. They are created. Every day of Brahma, they are created. And then, when Brahma's night comes, what happens? They are helplessly annihilated. Helplessly annihilated. Bhuta Gramas Bhuta. Ratriyagame Vashapata, Prabhavatya Haravam. And again the process starts. Now, for a devotee who has taken shelter of Krishna, to him, his existence is not connected to this material world. His existence, he does not identify with this material, he does not identify with his body. Because he does not identify with his body, he is above the influence of time. Because time has a destructive influence. There is time in the spiritual world also, but time is in the spiritual world for the sake of pastimes of Krishna. In spiritual world also Krishna has seasons. In spiritual world also Krishna has day and night. But there, here in the Bhagavatam, Shukadeva goes, Ayur Harati Vaikumsa, Udyan Asta, Asau Chaya, I forget this words. He says, Ayur Harati Vaikumsa. He says, with every rising and setting of the sun, the lifespan, the duration of lifespan of the living entity is reduced. This is not found in the spiritual world. This is not in the spiritual world. That destructive influence is not found. Why? Because the destructive influence of time is only the matter. This matter, this body, this iPad, all these things, this will get destroyed. Living entity, spirit, soul, who we are eternal. We are eternal. But we have forgotten that. Forgetting that, we have connected ourselves to this material consciousness, and just as everything gets destroyed, we forget everything also. See, because our identification is with the body, when the body gets destroyed, we forget about that also. We don't remember. This is all Krishna's arrangement. Now, when a living entity like Sri Narada is a pure devotee, then they remember. By Krishna's mercy, they remember. Because they don't identify themselves with that material body. They identify themselves as an eternal servant of Krishna. Narada identifies himself as an eternal servant of Krishna. In that spiritual consciousness, he did have a change of body, but he did not go through the fear of that change of body. And this is the important point to understand, that through the agency of time, see, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that everyone follows my path in all, everyone follows me in all respects. Right? Everyone follows my path in all respects. What does that mean? It doesn't mean everybody is a pure devotee. That's not what that means. It means that ultimately Krishna is the controller, and he forces everyone to act according to his will. But for conditioned living entities, because they do not want to surrender to Krishna, he makes them forget that. He makes them forget that in your previous life, all your plans to become, some great person was ruined. You forgot. We don't remember. We try to enjoy in our lives. We try to collect a lot of money. We did everything. We've done everything. And the 9th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, one purport, I don't have time to pull it up. Prabhupada says that the first position that the living entity gets when he walks out from the spiritual world is the position of Brahma. So we were all Brahma. We believe that we were the Lord of this universe. We were Brahma. We created the Manus, we created all the Yakshas, Rakshasas, Devaganas, everybody was created. And the Vedas were given to us by the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. We were that close to Krishna. We appeared from Krishna as Brahma. But then what happened? We forgot. Then we became governments too. Now somehow we have a human form of God. So, Brahma Bhavana Loka Punaravarti Arjuna. So we have gone through all these, heavenly planets, down, up and down, everything. We've done it all, we've seen it all, but we don't remember. So Krishna ultimately forces us to surrender in the sense that even if we don't want to give up this material body, even if we don't want to give up sense desire, still Krishna forces us in the form of time. Things are taken away. But we forget. Now, devotee is one who understands, listen, Krishna is going to force me to surrender anyways. Let me surrender now. That's all. That is all. And Krishna is so grateful for that. He's so happy, he's so pleased with the devotee. Oh, you recognize. And it is not the sadistic pleasure of a master to a slave. Finally you understood, Now okay. Now bow down and I'll give you 10 times. No, it's not like that. It's the pleasure of the parent seeing their child. Okay, finally he's listening to me because I want to benefit him. I want to tell him how he can be happy. Right now, it's foolish child. He's thinking that, if I don't eat, I'll make it, I'll throw a tantrum, then I'll be happy. Why is the child throwing the tantrum? Even the child doesn't know. That's all. Why is the child doing something? He doesn't even know why he's doing something. But when the child grows up, becomes mature, okay, my mother is saying, I have to eat, I have to eat. That's all. That's called surrender. Surrender doesn't mean that we have to logically understand everything. We'll never be able to understand Krishna's actions. It's now, see, after the pastimes are over, just like Pandavas, they had to go through so much. Or Srila Prabhupada, why did Srila Prabhupada have to go through so much to establish the Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada was homeless in New York. When I lived in New York, to be homeless there it's horrible. Even now, you can't imagine. It's really scary. Prabhupada didn't have proper clothes to wear. He's from India, Bengal is hot like anything. From a tropical, humid, climate of Vrindavan, where Prabhupada was staying. You go to New York City, and that winter that Prabhupada was there was also a storm, blizzard. It was also apparently one of the worst winters that happened, at least in that period. Why did Krishna go through Prabhupada like this? Krishna had a plan. He wanted to glorify Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada did not lose faith in Krishna. He didn't lose faith in the order of his spiritual master. He continued. And even if Srila Prabhupada did not establish the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, still his efforts would have been considered to be glorious. His efforts are because serving Krishna selflessly is always glorious. But Krishna had a plan for Prabhupada. Then he gave Prabhupada everything. Everything. It takes us so many years, to do something. You read the history of the Krishna consciousness movement, how things spread so fast. It's incredible. It's unimaginable. What devotees did, how they did. It's just like amazing. When Krishna's will is there, everything happens. The living entity, we have only one duty, that is to please Krishna. We have to please Krishna. And Krishna is pleased by the surrender of the living entity. Surrender is not such an easy thing, but it should be done. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it very easy. Krishna said, first you surrender. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't say first you surrender. He teaches us how to surrender. He gives us the Mahamantra. He gives us association with devotees. He gives us Prashadam. He gives us all these things. Still we won't surrender. What to do with people like this? But we have to follow. We have to surrender. And the thing is, we can be stubborn, we can be obstinate, we can avoid surrender. We can avoid, I won't be like this, I won't behave like a devotee, I won't act like a devotee, I won't read, I won't chant, I won't do this, no, it's not for me, do that. We may give so many excuses, I won't wake up in the morning, I won't do, Okay? Wait and watch. If you're meant, see, this is the thing, right? We don't know what is in store for us. We think, I want to sleep the whole night. I want to keep sleeping like this for the rest of my life. If we are not going to sleep beyond a certain number of time, you will get something in the body that this is how you will sleep. So this material happiness and material misery is not in our hands. We don't endeavor for suffering. Similarly, happiness also will come of its own account. But what we do need to endeavor is whatever material strength, whatever intelligence, whatever wealth, whatever possessions, whatever we are possessed with, we must take every opportunity. We must take every minute, right? We're speaking of time, every minute, every second, to surrender to Krishna, to actively surrender to Krishna, to follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Chant our rounds, rise early in the morning, behave like a devotee, dress like a devotee, do all these things. Prabhupada wanted these things. They're Vaishnava Lakshanas. Rupa Goswami says in the Nectar, Vacho Vedam, Manasak Krodha Vedam, Jivva Vedam. We have to do this. It's not. We have to control the tongue, we have to control the mind, we have to control anger, we have to control, mouth, the belly, and the genitals. We have to do this. And Utsaha, Nishya, Daija, Tantra, Karma, Pravartana, we have to be enthusiastic, we have to be patient, we have to associate with the devotees, and we should avoid, what is that? Atyahara, Prayasasya, Prajalpo, Niyamagraha. We should avoid, over accumulation. Atyahara, Prayasas, over endeavor, Prayasasya, Prajalpo. We should avoid wasteful talking. So, a devotee who doesn't understand the value of time, one of the definitions that Srila Prabhupada gave to devotees is it does not waste time. Because he understands this time is Krishna's allowance to us, opportunity to surrender, and should not waste it. It's like a businessman. He won't let a good opportunity go by. Other fellow will be sleeping. He takes the opportunity, makes $1 million. Other fellow, he's also seeing, but he doesn't see. Passion, but the businessman sees. Similarly, a devotee, he never loses an opportunity to be Krishna conscious. This is devotee, and when a devotee becomes like that, he becomes fearless because he has taken shelter of time himself. He has taken shelter of Krishna, who is the controller of time, and he becomes fearless. He becomes happy. So this is very important that we should not waste time by not becoming Krishna. Anything that when we are not following Krishna consciousness, we are not following what Prabhupada is telling us to do, and we are not actively trying to make progress in Krishna consciousness, we are wasting our time. Simple. And time will catch up. So better late than never. Better, like we can become. Therefore, Brahma Sutras begin. Vedanta Athado Brahma Jigyasa. Now is the time. Not after breakfast. Not after after I buy one house. Not after I become 60 years old. No. Athado now. Athado Brahma Jigyasa. Labdha Sudurlabham Vidam Bahu Sambhavate Manushya Mantada Nityam Api Gadira. Turnan Vedetana Pate Dhanuntiyava Nishya Saya Vishya Khamsarvatasya. This human form of life is very rare. Very rare. Somehow we have obtained. Nirdeha Madhyam Sulabham Sudurlabham. You see, this human form of life is very difficult to obtain. But we have obtained it easily. Easily meaning what? We don't remember what we studied to obtain this human form of life. So we got it. Now we have it. Now we have to take shelter of Guru and Krishna and go back to Bhagavad. A devotee who wants to become serious in Krishna consciousness will have a strong desire that this is my last life as a condition of humanity. One who doesn't have that strong desire, nothing can change. That brings about sincerity. No, to be sincere, do you really want to come out of the cycle of birth? You want to do anything to do that. It may take a little time. You're making effort. And should actively make effort. This is the time. So I'll stop here. If there are any questions or comments, corrections, please feel free.
Well, thank you for your association. And you spoke on a very powerful topic, time. And so we have a lot of instructions. And one of them that is that we should not try to waste our time. And this is something that I have been kind of thinking on. And I still think that there is a lot of time in my life that just passed by. And so-called this doesn't integrate that doesn't. And then it's hard. So somehow the Krishna consciousness is not formed in the heart. That's why other things look more attractive. So appreciate the part of the process. So one example thing for Girasta you have as advice, you are brahmachari, we are Girasta. We came to Krishna consciousness, when I was married, seeing children, everybody. And we have to take care of them, so I think they think this is serving Krishna. But the still desire is that we should give more and more time to always be Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, I mean, that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is, what is that? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dhoya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, what is that? Sahavatari, Atyanta Durlabha Prema Puri Bharidam, Shri Kaya Sharnagati Bhakti. Oh, yeah, okay. So the question is, what advice can I as a brahmachari give to grihasthas who are come to Krishna consciousness after marriage, children, several duties, and things like that, and we still have material desire, like that. Well, I as a brahmachari also have material desire. If that's news for you, then I'm done. Sorry to disappoint. I have a lot of material desire, maybe more, but perhaps actually more than yourself. So, but the point is that in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, we are given the process of Sankirtan. And when we expand this Sankirtan, right, when we help bring people to Krishna consciousness, when we put our minds to that, when we put our minds to how I can give what I have received to others, how can I give? That evokes a level of engagement that otherwise is very difficult to achieve. See, if the rule, which is before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what do? You become Krishna conscious and you meditate on Krishna's pastime, you chant Krishna's holy name, you read Bhagavatam, you relish Srimad Bhagavatam, you relish pastimes of Krishna. But the truth is, as Kali Yuga, souls, we are too passionate. I'll read for some time, after that I want to do something. Then I want to do something. So of course there are different services to engage in this, deity worship, cleaning the temple and this and that. But nothing is as exciting as expanding the Sankirtan movement of consciousness. Nothing is as exciting as that. Nothing is as exciting when we are able to make somebody, accept the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, accept, bring them up, and you see them, it feels like they become a new person, they become, they're reborn. Nothing is as exciting. It's a very intoxicating excitement. Book distribution is very intoxicating. And so this Sankirtan, where we do book distribution, we do Harinam, and then we bring people, we preach them, we preach about Krishna consciousness. That makes us read the books. That makes us understand. That makes us. The more we are able to do that, and more engaging, and what happens is then mind becomes addicted to that service, because that's the nature of Sankirtan, which otherwise, you have to really control. I mean, see, we have to transcend especially the lower modes of passion and ignorance. But when you have to just hear pastimes of Krishna, and if you are going to chant 64 rounds a day, you need to be a little bit in the mode of goodness also. Not little, actually quite a lot. Otherwise, how are you going to? Otherwise, with passion, I have to do something. Where am I going to sit and read? Where am I going to sit and chant? I do 16 rounds, give up. After 16 rounds, you don't want to see the feedback anymore. That is our mentality. How are we going to just relish and become absorbed? No, but that absorption comes through active service in the Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya. So to engage in this Sankirtan mission, to connect to it, even if somebody is not directly into the speech, okay, if they're able to contribute to that, then one must contribute, because the mind goes where the money goes. You hear that a lot in Africa. So the mind goes where the money goes. So if you give money there, then mind will go there. Similarly, engaging in service like this, without Sankirtan, it's very difficult to make progress. It's actually not possible for us. What is that? Kalim Sabha Jayantyarya Guna Gnasara Bhaginaha Yatra Sankirtane Naiva Sarvaswartho Bhiyam. That Kalim Sabha Jayantyarya, that Aryas, civilized persons, they worship, they glorify the age of Kali. Kalim Sabha Jayantyarya. Guna, and who are they? How are they? They're Gunagna, Sara Bhaginaha. They extract the essence from the Vedic Guna, Sara Bhagina. So such kind of people, they glorify Kali Yuga, they worship Kali Yuga. Why do they worship Kali Yuga? Yatra Sankirtane Naiva, where just by performing Sankirtan, Yatra Sankirtane Naiva, only by Sankirtan. Yatra Sankirtane Sarvasvato Vilavya. All auspiciousness is produced, all success is achieved. Simply by Sankirtan. The beauty of Sankirtan is that you can connect with it. Even if, so even if one is not directly able to preach, one can connect to the preaching by serving that teaching mission in different ways. We may not be a great preacher, but if we cook nice prasadam, that is also helping Sankirtan movement. Because the preacher needs that good prasadam to give. The person will eat that prasadam, it's very nice. This is Sankirtan, so we have to engage in Sankirtan. Without Sankirtan, there is no possibility of disabling that. So we have to try to somehow dovetail ourselves in Sankirtan. That is what Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi saying. But it comes in different ways. Details are there. This is it. 2 cents. Anything else? Yes.
I had one question, Prabhu, that told that in the first everyone came as Brahma.
Yeah, Prabhupada said that.
Hearing that for the first time.
Yes. It's all there in Prabhupada's books. You have to read Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada's books is it's nothing like Srila Prabhupada's books in 3 worlds. We're so fortunate to read Srila Prabhupada's books. We should take advantage of it. So yeah, it's amazing. We lost 3 heads. Let's not lose this one. Last 3 heads, last 3. That's how brainless we are. Definition of brain is last 3 heads. 3 brains lost. Anything else?
Last week was online.
Anything online? Chat. Okay.
So before we
Yeah,
adjourn,
I just wanted to.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. You're talking about surrender and how when the body is in a process of surrender, he doesn't want to stand. Because a lot of times people think of surrender, especially in in this world we're living, our idea of surrender without Prabhupada's books is very concocted and very kind of distorted. Like a lot of people think of surrender as a state of mind, but in reality, just like you say, it's like a moment-to-moment thing.
It's a moment-to-moment thing. You could be one moment in Maya, another moment in Krishna consciousness.
But when it comes to Krishna Prema, that's not necessarily the case, probably, right?
Krishna Prema comes after surrender. A person who is in Krishna Prema is in love with Krishna, which means they always act for Krishna's pleasure. So surrender becomes an automatic thing.
Natural.
It becomes natural. The mother does not have to deliberate, plan, make her mind, set her mind to serve the child. No, it comes naturally. See, maybe somebody has to take the position of a nurse, right? Then maybe they have to learn about the person and for instance, if they're nursing a child, or if you're especially becoming the first time or something like that, then you have to clean the stool of the child. It's not your child. The stool of the child. It's not something very personal. It's not. But the mother doesn't have to work for any child in the child. Automatically. That child stool for the mother is like sandalwood paste. No, it's real. It's true. It's natural, automatically. No problem. Okay. But those who are not used to it, it has to be done, the child is going to be infected with this, that, all that. The mother doesn't have to go through all this mental. It just does it. It becomes natural. Why love? When love is there, even that is wonderful. Even the stool of a child becomes wonderful. It's the nature of love. It's just, in the material world, this is a material example, what to speak of Krishna. So when a devotee loves Krishna, when he is in Krishna Prema, There is no debate in the mind like we are doing. If I have to rise early in the morning, set 4 alarms, so that one ISO, second ISO, third ISO, fourth ISO. Doesn't happen. Srila Prabhupada, this was an amazing thing. What he's observed. Prabhupada would travel, from different places, continents, cross several time zones. Prabhupada would arrive and just go right into his schedule, It's time for morning walk, he would leave. No jet lag. Servants and secretaries, they're suffering to catch up, it's like a really difficult thing. Prabhupada would go right into it. It's like example of somebody who is not influenced by time. Right? Otherwise, anybody who experience jet lag, you cannot do anything. It's like somebody is taking your eyelids and shutting it down like the shutter of a storefront. You just can't do anything. It's fall asleep. You might be, I'm going to talk to someone. You're talking to someone and you fell asleep. But Prabhupada didn't go to that. So this is platform, Krishna Prema.
So Prabhuji, before we adjourn, ask you to do introduction to the audience. You can go there.
Vishnu Prabhu is a disciple of Krishna Prema. He's from Chennai. Over the past 15 years, he's actually involved in youth preaching mainly. He was personal assistant of Mother for 3 years. And now he's currently serving as the president of Krishna Life Center in Atlanta. I think that's his biggest offering to Srila Prabhupada now. There's about 20 brahmacharis there that are actually being trained. Madhas are also there who are actually being trained as part of the ashram. They recently got a big property in Atlanta and now they're building a big temple there. And the biggest book distribution numbers that we see in ISKCON are from this ashram. So, thank you so much for giving us your association. Please keep coming.
Thank you for giving an opportunity to speak and do some service.
Thank you. Thank you. So before we leave, make sure you get to prasadam. And as I was seeing all of you, I was just meditating, thinking about it. If every Saturday, or at least once a month, we can have, this is very powerful. Coming in the morning, being part of the Mandarati, going through the entire schedule, and finally having the life and blessing of Prasadam. It makes our life super powerful, super auspicious. I feel very, very shocked. I don't know how my day is going to be, and I'm already kind of flowing out, coming out. So thank you so much once again for coming, and thank you, Mr. Sudakesh, for your wonderful class. Thank you so much. I think a lot of classes by Keswaman Prabhu. Does it come?